Good morning friends, welcome to another lecture on microprocessor and interfacing devices. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the internal architecture of 8051 microcontroller. So this is the internal architecture of 8051 microcontroller. Here we have number of peripherals which are connected together with each other in order to perform a specific task. Coming to the peripherals here, first one we are going to discuss with the program counter. A program counter, it is a 16-bit register. This is used to load the program memory address of a currently fetched instruction, and also it is capable of addressing up to 64 KB of code. And coming to the next one, program counter incrementer. This is also a 16-bit register which automatically increases the address in accordance with the program flow. It is also used to facilitate program counter to be used for addressing modes. And coming to the buffer is nothing but it will extract the data from both the, or it will be extract the data, or it will give the data from in between both the devices here. Coming to the data pointer, this data pointer consists of two 8-bit register, that is DPH and DPL. DPH instance data pointer high and DPL instance data pointer low. That means it is a 16-bit register. It is divided into two parts, data pointer high and data pointer low, which is of 8 bits. This is used to hold the data in indirect addressing mode. It is used to hold the data in indirect addressing mode. So coming to the program address register, it is also a 16-bit register which holds the data of the code to be accessed. It is also a 16-bit register which used to hold the data of the address to be accessed. It holds the address. So coming to the A register here, A register in sense accumulator. As you have already known that accumulator is a register which is used to store the output of an arithmetic operation, or here it is an 8-bit register that stores one of the operand, and its immediate results while performing an ALU operation. So it is used to store one of the operand, and it is also used to store the result of the arithmetic operation. Here coming to the register B, it is also an 8-bit register. It holds the second operand while performing an ALU operations. Mostly we use this accumulator for addition and subtraction. If the number of bits are more, then we are going to use this both accumulator as well as register B. Especially this register B is used for the operations like multiplication and division along with the accumulator register. Here ALU, what is the meaning of ALU? Arithmetic and logic unit. It performs all the arithmetic and logic operations. So here coming to this one, program status word. This program status word, the name itself says the status word. That means how the program, or how this is working, or how the status of the microcontroller is right now. Coming to this, it is like an status flag. So it consists of, it will be like this. So it is a 8-bit parity flag, overflow flag, RS0, RS1, F0, AC and CY. Here we are reading this from in the right. Previously we have written like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is 8 bits. But in this flag we are going to deal 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Coming to CY, it is having nothing but carry flag. When a carry flag is set, whenever an arithmetic and logical operation is performed, that means in addition or subtraction, if there is a carry in, so for example in addition, by adding two numbers, if we have an carry, then this carry flag will be set. Otherwise, while performing subtraction, if a borrow is there, then this carry flag is going to be set. And coming to the next one, auxiliary carry flag. This means that if a carry is generated from lower nibble to higher nibble, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, from this port to or this bit to this bit, third bit to fourth bit. If a carry is generated from third bit to fourth bit or lower nibble to higher nibble, then the auxiliary carry flag is set. So coming to the parity flag. So parity flag is this is set if a register contains odd number of ones and clears when even. That means if this register is having odd number of ones, if a register, that is accumulator register, is having odd number of ones, then this carry flag, then this parity flag is set. Otherwise it is a reset. This is F0. F0. This flag is set or cleared available. This flag is set or cleared by the software as a user defined status flag, and it is also available for general purpose user. So coming to the RS1 and RS0, based on the values of RS1 and RS0, based on the values of RS1 and RS0, which register bank is accessed and what is the data length, that means what is the bit length we are going to access here. Suppose if both RS1 and RS0 are 0, we are going to access register bank 0, which is from 00 to 07, that is an 8-bit. If 01, then we are going to access register bank 1, which is from 08 to 0F. If 10, we are going to access register bank 2, that is from 10 to 17. If it is 11, we are going to access register bank 3, which is of 18 to 1H. 1H to 1H. Coming to the next one, stack pointer. Here this is a section which is part in the RAM, which is used by the CPU to store the information temporarily. Here it is the stack pointer is a 8-bit and holds the address in the stack pointer in the current RAM, where the last byte of data is to be stored by the stack operation. So we have two temporary register 1 and temporary register 2. These are used during the compromises and certain other applications, compare, when we are going to compare two numbers, then these two temporary registers are used. Coming to the timing and control unit. All the operations are performed in synchronous with the clock in step. The control unit generates common signals like ALE, PSEN complement, read, write, etc. So this timing signal will generate common signals for all the things, all the components, that is PSE, ALE, read data, write data. It will going to give all the output or input ports in a common fashion. What is ALE? It is an address latch enable. Address latch enable. It is used for accessing an external memory. In this, the lower address bytes in latch through this pin. We are going to access the lower address bytes through this pin. Next one, what is PSEN? Program strobe enable. It is an effective low PSEN for reading the contents of external program memory. So here we are going to read the contents in the external memory through this PSEN bar, and read data and write data. Active low, RD complement, active low is used for reading the contents of the external data, and WR complement means active write, which is used to write to the external data. So IR instance instruction register, it holds the opcode. It holds the opcode of current register. Next one, we are going for RAM addressing registers. Coming here, RAM addressing registers. This is similar to a program address register. it holds the address of the reference data here. So coming to all these are connected to each other in order to perform the task. Coming to the next one, that is a ROM, EEPROM or ROM. This is the ROM can be masked, or EEPROM can be masked, or flash ROM can be masked with 4 KB of data. So coming to this one, TMOD, TCON, SCON and PCON here. So what is TMOD? TMOD is nothing but timer mode register. It is also an 8-bit register that specifies the operation of timer 0 and timer 1. Already we have timer 0 and timer 1, and I have T0 and T1, what I have explained to you in the previous pin diagram. It is here TMOD, timer mode register. Timer mode register is an 8-bit register that specifies the operation of T0 and T1 along with their nodes. And here coming to the TCON, timer control register. This is also an 8-bit register and shows TF and TR, or both of them, along with the interrupt control bits, that both of them mentions timer 0 and timer 1 here. SCON, this is nothing but serial control register. It is also an 8-bit register which is used to start or stop the bits of data framing. So what is PCON? Power control register. It contains the flag that differentiate power on reset or power out reset and a watchdog timer. Serial buffer, here buffer, serial buffer. It is used for several transmission and reception. So all these things, all these are in a communicate with each other and performs the tasks. Thank you. And coming to the next one, the internal memory organization of 8051. Here the internal memory instance, here we are going to deal with both the RAM and ROM. In 8051 we have 128 bytes of RAM and 4 KB of internal ROM. And coming to the internal RAM organization of 8051, it has been divided into 3 parts, that is working registers, bit addressable registers and general purpose registers. I repeat, working registers, bit addressable registers and general purpose register. And how it looked like. See, this is the internal RAM structure of 8051, and the first 4 registers are divided as working register. That means here register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2 and register bank 3. That means each register is having 8 bits, 8 address locations, 00, 01, 0, 00, 01, 02 up to 07. So here it is a 32 bytes from 00H to 1FH, and that means with 32 working registers, and each working register is of 8-bit wide. And these 2 working registers are organized as 4 bank registers, and each bank is of 8-bit wide. So each register can be addressed by its name, and the default register or the default register which is used to store the initial data is register bank 0. Coming to the next one, 16-bit addressable register, that is it is a 16-bit bit addressable RAM. It is a 16-bit and its starting address will be from 20H to 2FH. Here the memory locations can be accessed by bit. That means memory location can be distinguished by bit level also, and this is very important when only 1 or 2 bits are used for storing the start and end address here. And coming to the general purpose registers, this is from address location 30H to 7FH, and this is also a byte accessible register. And coming to the ROM of 8051, it is of 4 KB, and the ROM occupies address space from 0000 to 4 zeros to 000F. This is internal ROM, and whenever a program is much higher or much more than these address memory locations, we are going to access with external ROM, and which starts from 1000 to FFFH. So, and this internal program memory again has been divided into internal program memory and external program memory. So, and internal RAM is also divided into internal and external data memory. That is, data memory in sense here it is a RAM value, program memory is in sense it is a ROM value. Here, coming to the internal program or internal program memory, here whenever the external access, that is EA bar, is equals to 1, that means it is accessing with internal memory. That means the data or the address locations will be from 000H to 000F, and if whenever the data is more, or whenever the program is higher than these address locations, is going to access the external memory, and that is starts from 1000H to FFFH. And whenever its value is 0, that is EA complement value is 0, it completely accesses the external data, that is from 040H to FFFH. And coming to the internal and external data memory, in as we have know that the internal RAM capacity is 128. Internal RAM is of 256 bytes here, and an external RAM will be of 64 KB. In the most of the instruction, that is like a move X register, this is used to access the external data memory, which is of 64 KB. In the internal memory, we are going to access from 00H to, as we have seen here. In the internal memory, we are going to access from 000H to 7FH. That means this is of 128 bytes, and the remaining, that means whenever the RAM capacity or whenever the program which we are interfacing with external devices, if it is more than 128 bytes, then we are dealing with the external memory, which is of again it is also of 128 bytes, and that address will start from 80H to FFH. So this is all about your internal and memory locations, external or internal memory organization of 8051. Thank you.